on both sides when the bike is on a flat. When I'm on a hill, it's not a bike you can flat foot. So yeah, it's 1 foot down. Even that's the difference. It's the same with a rally. I couldn't put 2 feet down, but a rally was a lighter bike. You got to lean further before it would tip. So you've got to be very conscious that this is a 208 kilo curb weight, 90% fuel bike, and it carries a bit of weight over that front wheel. So that front wheel turns when you stop, with all that weight from the fairing pressing down on it, it can tip over. I describe it as a tippy bike, but not so much from the petrol tank high centre of gravity, but more from a 21-inch front wheel with a lot of weight forward of a petrol tank. I don't know how much weight actually is over the wheel, but you've got the front of a fairing, you got the front of a fairing here, and you got all this, and you got all this over that 21-inch skinny front wheel. I might be completely talking through my backside, but I believe that contributes to the bike being a bit tippy. So I try and keep the front wheel straight at all times. When I'm at a stop, if I've got to take my hands off the handlebars, I'll make sure that wheel's not turned in, it's straight as much as possible. Okay, so this is just a back road, just full of potholes because you've got trees overhanging. It's sometimes hard to spot the potholes. I've ridden this probably 24 times since I moved back to Queensland on a motorbike. But you can get a new pothole after a heavy rain. You can get a new pothole form overnight, and the road crews haven't had time to come and fix it. You can have a pothole sitting there for days, weeks, in certain situations. So I've got a plush suspension setting on this bike. Soft is another word for it. So with a 21-inch front wheel, it's not bad at soaking up potholes. It can be a bit bouncy, springy, you know what I mean, like marshmallowy on different types of irregularities of road surfaces, so that can cause a bit of a bouncy feeling. So if you were wanting to really push this bike on road, you would tighten, first thing would stiffen the preload up from the factory setting to probably, if you're 100 kilos, probably to the maximum setting if you're about 90 kilos plus. Now that's going to make it a lot more firmer over smaller stuff, but you're going to feel ripples and that where you wouldn't hardly feel them. So it's everyone's a compromise. Would you want to buy this bike to go really quick on the, treat it like a sports tourer or a sports bike? I think it's the wrong bike for that, simply because it's got a 21-inch front wheel. And I could be completely wrong on that, but that's my take on it. When I get off this after riding this straight for 2 weeks, get back on my Versys 650 to give it a run while it's up for sale, just so the battery doesn't go flat, and check the tyres and just blow the cobwebs out of it. The Versys feels like a super sports bike. What I mean by that, it feels ergonomically better for my height, which is 5'8", so I'd say anybody from 5'7" to 5'10", 5'11" would feel the same way, but the Versys 650 fits them like a glove, the handlebars are a bit narrower, the levers fit better, just everything about the bike shouts, you know, I'm going to be quicker going through the twisties and I'm a proper road bike, where this, as I said, feels more like a bigger version of a CR300 Rally, more powerful version. But I'd say it definitely handles better than the Rally on the road. You can, well, obviously it's quicker, but I'd say that the same reason why it feels tippy at low speeds is why it feels more sure-footed at speed on the road with a extra weight over the front wheel, whereas the Rally had a very small, God, there's a person with a horse, 2 horses, wow. Horsey people, they go on this, they block, in case you don't know the area, nearly every fire trail here has been closed off to motorcyclists. Even if you've got a registered bike, you cannot go up things like that, and it's all reserved for hikers and horse riders, which is fair enough. I'm not sure if mountain bikers are allowed up on those roads, but definitely motorcycles. So, and this sort of quadrant between the Gold Coast, Canungra, so this is now the Numinbah Valley, beautiful part of the world. Just be careful if there was a billy goat across the road a few weeks ago. It did look to the left, I went, and looked to the left and darted across, so it was road savvy, but when they decide to go, they go, and it went up that hill there. Cruiser gave me the thumbs up. Sometimes the cruiser guys won't even, you wave at them or you pin and they just ignore you. I think it's like maybe the Harley crowd, maybe the bike club, bikies, I don't know. But oh well, each their own. To me, if I see a scooter going along here, I'll give them a wave, or even a cyclist sometimes. We're all in it together, we're all riding on 2 wheels, doesn't matter what you're riding. We're all sharing the same basic experience of riding a motorcycle on a beautiful day through beautiful scenery. So these are like little villages in the Numinbah Valley. It's like, but probably hundreds of years, like, oh shit. Yeah, see the 21-inch front wheel went in about a little divot in the road there. It wasn't a major thing, but it made, got my attention. I'm only going the speed limit here, 50. And that's a new one, so I've ridden along here numerous times in the last few weeks. And I've never come across that, I've never had that issue before. Maybe it's the first time I've actually got my wheel. It's just a little divot, what would you call it, a little shallow rut in the bitumen. So I'm very conscious of the speed limit here. And it's not just because it's the speed limit, it's like, you know, people live here. People have got animals here, so you've got to be careful of that. And also people have got children here. You don't want to run over a kid that's, you know, escaped the parents' attention and run down onto the road looking for his, you know, soccer ball or whatever. I'm just going to pull over here. I've got a car behind me. It looks like, coincidentally, looks a bit like a car that's tailgating me in frickin' near Mudgebar earlier. I'll just let them go. Oh, that's a different car. It's a Porsche. It's a Mercedes that's tailgating me. So look at this. This is just absolutely brilliant scenery. I'd love to live here. Who wouldn't? Well, I guess a few people wouldn't, but like that house over there. way out in this one, if you can see it. White house on stilts. And these big cliffs all around. If you come here early in the morning, on a certain temperature, and you get the mist rolling literally from people's rooftops. It is absolutely fantastic. So the clouds are just, they're just rolling through people's properties who live at the base of a mountain. Now this is a one-way here to get a few of these along this road. You get more on the Springbrook Budgerbar Road. Got about 2 or 3 of these from memory along this road. Yeah, so I'm doing 67. Obviously going slow. I'm talking into a microphone, so. But this is about, if you're into sitting on top of a bike, not feeling as though I'm riding a Kawasaki Z1000 naked bike or a Yamaha MT-09 or a Honda CBR 1000R, you know what I'm saying, whatever, or a Ducati, Multistrada 4S or something, for the bike that says, hey, I'm a really, really, really quick bike. I'm a sports bike. It's up to you. You got a duty to ride fast. This is a cruisy bike. It doesn't look like a sports bike. It looks like an adventure bike. And then this, I've got the tricolour Transalp. It looks a bit dainty. I've got the big 52 litre tank on, so it looks a little, from certain angles, I guess it looks a little bit soft. Whereas my Transalp, my Versys 650, I've got the dark gold version. Certain angles, I've got the little bag on the back. It looks pretty mean, It looks purposeful, serious adventure bike or touring bike. The Rally it would look basically like a CR 450 motocross, you know what I'm saying? That sort of look, the serious dirt bike. So I like that part of it. It was a nice bike just to look at. Alright, it had soft suspension. It had a pretty, timid, mediocre as far as on-road performance, but it was quick enough off-road. Most people can't ride even a CR300 Rally at its full pace on the terrain that they complain that it's no good for, you know what I mean? And it's not just the suspension. If you slip the clutch, you drop the clutch on a 300 Rally out of dirt corners, out of a berm sort of situation, or just slide, it gives you another 5 or 6 horsepower by just dropping your clutch, and you can just, you can go like a slingshot to the next corner. And a lot of people who buy the Rally, they haven't got that level of experience to go back quick. So the Rally's a perfect bike for anyone who just wants to go slower. And I don't mean like slower, like in a demeaning view. I mean, I'm going slow. I'm going the speed limit. But as people go through, they'll overtake me. They'll be like a kilometre behind me when within, 3 kilometres they've caught up and are overtaking me. Something like that. You've got to be in that, mode to ride quick. And don't get me wrong, there's days where I'm in that mode. But there's also days where I'm not. And this is a great bike because it's comfortable. If you're on a sports bike, it's uncomfortable on roads like this and you feel every bump, or you're less likely to enjoy the experience of going slower because those bikes only come to life when they're going really quick. So I think I should go to the toilet. I think I'll wait till yeah, welcome to the channel. Review of a Honda 750 Transalp, 9,500 kilometre review. Not far to go for 10. Since I bought an action camera on DJI 5 Pro along with the DJI wireless mic, I may as well do the review practice using the camera. So here we are. So I've been talking on before the camera stopped last at what bike this would be comparable to if you were looking for a dual purpose or a bike that you could do predominantly road work but still be able to go on a trail, soft trails. I'll compare it probably to the 300 Rally. No, the 300 Rally is definitely more suited to anything more serious, as in more technical off-roading, single track even, and just generally off-road riding. This Rally weighed 150 kilos. This weighs 208. So where the similarities are between this bike and a Rally, which I had to sell reluctantly for health reasons, and I'm even thinking of buying another one, is the similarities are they're both protected to a degree from the weather, so you do actually feel as though you're on a decent touring bike on both bikes. I did 400 or 500 k's days on the Rally on a number of occasions, and it handled it no worries. I wasn't getting off feeling, like a cardboard cutout person. I couldn't move, flex the legs or anything. It was quite comfortable. The seat was about the same comfort as the stock seat on this, and then I got the lower seat with less padding on this Transalp, and I think this is more comfortable than the stock seat. Just my opinion. Could be wrong because I haven't put the stock seat back on since I've gotten this, but this is a pretty comfortable seat. Less padding, but it's just maybe a bit more support in the stock seat than the Rally seat. But it was definitely, the Rally was a bike you could tour Australia on. I'll just say that now. You could tour around Australia. If you were doing motorways, well, why would you buy a Rally if you're going on motorways? I mean, if you're doing predominantly motorways, you just want to go Brisbane, you want to go Melbourne to Sydney on a motorway, Sydney to Cairns. Why would you buy a CR300 Rally? Why would you buy this? You'd want a touring bike, a Versys 1000, a Versys 650, a Goldwing. That sort of bike. You can list any sports tourer you want over a 21-inch front wheel Honda Transalp. But this will do, mate. I've probably done 200k stretch on them. Not quite bad. Have I? Probably 150 k's on a motorway. About 130, 140 on a a proper motorway between Gold Coast and Grafton, that area. I've done 200k stretches on the 300 Rally, and it handled it no worries. What's the ideal cruising speed on the Rally on a motorway? Probably 90 kilometres. It'll do 110. I did 30k stretch of doing 110 to 120 I was in a hurry to get back up to being on the back roads, and I just hit the motorway in New South Wales, and it was no problems. Got up to 100 and a bit faster, and it handled no worries. It actually was sitting at a higher speed, but it's not it's not the worst experience. But with this, it's got the taller fairing, more leg protection from the wind than the rally. I believe you could go 1,000-kilometre motorway in a day, and you stop for fuel and everything, easy. I'll compare it to my Versys 650, which is I've done multiple 300-kilometre, 600-kilometre motorway stretches, 300 k's each way, bit of a break, then back down after getting a bike service, stuff like that, and there's been no worries. If I was going to go on motorways down to Melbourne, which bike would I take? I'd probably take the Versys. Why? It's noisier, the wind, it's got a shorter fairing on, windscreen on it, even though it's adjustable, it's shorter. Alright, maybe I'll take this. Bit of a quest, I'll take this for that reason, because they're so similar in comfort. But if I was going to go on the back roads like this for 1,000 kilometres and no dirt at all, I just maybe smooth dirt roads, I'll take the Versys, because it's more sporty. You could have a more sporty yet experience on the Versys with just with one bag on the back, not fully kitted up, enough for a few days tour. But it would be tight, I'm actually hesitating when I'm saying, I think the best way to say it is, this is definitely more comfortable. If you're thinking about upgrading from a 300 rally, you will definitely appreciate the extra power, the sophistication of a dash. You will still recognise the soft suspension. I've got it on a soft preload, so that is not helping. But you will notice it on the back roads, and you might say, geez, this is good. This handles the back roads just like my rally did. So as long as you don't mind a little bit of, you haven't got stitches in your body, or a dislocated, you know what I mean, you haven't got any medical issues up half your body that gives you pain, you will appreciate the soft suspension. And a 21-inch front wheel, just like the rally, will go over the smaller potholes easy, where the potholes where the 17-inch front wheels of sports bikes can get knocked around a bit. Alright, so here we are on the beautiful, I think this used to be the border, or it used to be like a fruit inspection point. I mean, look at that. Look at that scenery. Wonderful.